This video is anchored and patterned from Pivot for a Learner's Material, Quarter 2, English for Grade 7, which was published and distributed by the Department of Education, Region 4A, CALABARZON.
Now turn up.
Hello dear learners! Once again, I am Miss Lani, and welcome to another day of exploring the world of English. What can you say about a tree? How are you going to describe it? Can you associate a tree to life? How will you relate a tree to life? When describing something, we often resort to making comparison to establish a clearer idea of what we are trying to describe or explain. Comparing objects or ideas is a common practice, especially when writing. While there are many types of comparison that one can make through usual figures of speech like simile and metaphor, there are also literary techniques or devices that can show and provide a more detailed comparison of things and ideas. One example of these techniques is the use of analogy. This lesson focuses on the use of rhetorical devices like analogy in comparing things in order to describe or make a point. An analogy is a literary technique that involves comparison of how two things are alike, but with the ultimate goal of making a point about this comparison. Although often quite similar or related with simile and metaphor, an analogy is not a figure of speech. Analogy is a rhetorical device used to make rational arguments and support ideas by showing connections and comparisons between unlike things. The main function of analogy is not just to show, but also to explain or justify. Example: life is just like a tree. It starts from a seedling that grows into a full-grown tree that has trunk and branches that make itself strong and bears wonderful fruits. Meanwhile, figures of speech like simile or metaphor only aim to show without providing a clear descriptions or explanations. When we say simile, it is a comparison of two unlike things using the word like or as. Example: life is like a tree. Life is compared to tree with the use of the word like. My mother is as gentle as an angel. Mother and angel is being compared with one another with the use of the word as. On the other hand, metaphor is a comparison of two unlike things without using like or as. Example: life is a tree. In this sentence, life is being directly compared to tree without using like or as. My mother is an angel. In this sentence, mother is being directly compared to an angel without using like or as. Remember, figures of speech only aim to show comparison without providing clear descriptions or explanation. As such, analogy is more complex in nature than figures of speech. Generally, there are two types of analogies commonly employed in writing. The first one is analogies that identify identical relationship. This type of analogy takes from the form of A is to B as C is to D, and is often used to directly illustrate similar relationships between two pairs or words, often used for the purpose of logical argument. Example: English is to language as mathematics is to arithmetic. This example vividly shows the connection between English and language and mathematics and arithmetic. English is basically a subject that focuses on language, while mathematics deals primarily with arithmetic or numbers. The next one is analogies that identify shared abstraction. This form of analogy compares two things or concepts that are technically unrelated in order to establish a connection between a characteristic that they share. This type is common and useful in writing because it can make an abstract ideas and concept more concrete. Example: what soldiers do for the country, white blood cells do inside the body. In the given example, the abstract concept of how white blood cells function in the body is made clear by explaining that they protect everything inside, like how soldiers perform their sworn duty to protect their country. In writing, analogies play the function of making abstract concepts more concrete, adding depth and feeling to an image, and describing and making a point to establish an argument. Now, get your pen and paper and try to answer this activity. Read, examine, and classify each sentence as to simile, metaphor, or analogy. Learning about how analogies are different from other types of comparison used in English can be confusing. It is important for you to understand how each type of comparison aims to function in sentences and larger units of discourse. And that is all for today. Once again, I am Miss Lani, and thank you for watching. Bye!